Alright, so I wasn't expecting to do this ban list reaction so soon, because normally they wait a couple of days after a KC Cup, but apparently just the next day, we've got a ban list. And the first thing I've noticed before anything else is it's just a Forbidden Limited list. There's no skill update, which I'm not gonna lie, I am very shocked by. I thought there was 100% gonna be some specific bans towards a certain Pendulum skill, at least to me making it more restricted, so it's not just play Orcust, play Magistas, play whatever you like in it. I was hoping there'd be some restrictions on that, but looks like we're not getting any, so that's a bit interesting. Also important to note, I don't think this ban list, I haven't checked it yet obviously, I don't think this ban list is going to be very big, because normally before brand new worlds, they like to do huge ban lists to make sure the new world cards when they're released actually can compete, but I don't expect it to be very big, purely because there isn't going to be one of those brand new worlds being added, and we've just had a massive ban list already, so I'm expecting like 3 to 4 card hits on here. I don't even know if I'll make this video go to the 8 minutes or so for the ad rev, so yeah, make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see this kind of stuff. Yeah, this actual ban list reaction is just rudely interrupting me filming the ninja deck list that just got released in Master Duel, so it better be a good one, otherwise I'm going to be rather upset, especially without the skill. I don't know why there's no skill update in here, it's absurd. Anyway, alright, let's get into it. Alright, September 28th, that's the wrong button. Okay, starting off with a Limit 1. Obviously designed to stop having this thing being put in the Pendulum deck specifically. I could probably look these up to make sure, but I think it's mostly aimed at the Pendulum deck stuff. I don't want to spoil myself on future bans, so I won't go through it too much yet. But we'll check that at the end. This is obviously aimed to try to get other Limit 1 cards out of that deck list, and that Pendulum deck currently has a bunch of Limit 1s they want to run in it, so they have to sort of choose now. Yeah, I think this... I don't even know if this actually removes it, because it isn't currently the thing they run that Xyz monster, and they will just cut the Xyz monster for this if they want to run this specific variant. Especially considering the Xyz monster competes with this sort of, like, optional anyway. I mean, I don't know if this really does a whole lot to that deck list, so I'm hoping there's a little bit more on here that sort of, yeah, I don't think that's enough to really kill the, not even every Orcust variant was going, not Orcust variant, it's not Orcust, not even every Pendulum variant was going for this combo anyway, so I'm not really sure about this one. Alright, and then we have Madolche, which I am beyond shocked by. I know KC Cup results generally affect ban lists more, and this is one of those decks that is really, really strong for KC Cups, so it's obviously aimed at that, but the deck you just never see on ladder, you never see it in tournaments, it's only shown ever occasionally as like one topping in top 100 KC Cup. It doesn't deserve a hit at all. You could nerf like half the decks in the meta, this thing would still not reach like tier 3, so I don't really like this at all, especially considering this deck only has like one play anyway, and it's open this card or bust, so not a huge fan of this. Yeah, I don't like it at all. Although hits like this make it seem like this ban list might be a lot bigger than I think it is, hopefully. Lady Debug, bro, can they just stop touching this deck? This is like, I can't tell now if this is for Salad or this is for Code Talker, or like, both those decks by the way are not exactly super top tier or anything. It's really odd to see Debug on here. It's actually really odd to see Debug on here. Neither of those decks are top tier, right? None of these hits so far, except this one, is top tier hits. And this one isn't even that relevant, because I'm pretty sure there's like 15 other variants of that Pendulum deck you can play. I don't know about this one. This is really sus. Wasn't this thing like, I can't even remember, this thing already was Limit 1 or Limit 2 or Limit 3 or something at some point anyway? Like, they've just like reverted it, or they've given it another limit? It's so odd. I don't even know what this is specifically targeting. Because I can't, like, none of the top meta decks currently are using it, right? Like, here's your current tier list. Not using it, not using it, not using it, not using it. None of them's using it. It's like, this is like some really outdated tier list hit thing for ages ago. I don't... Alright, moving on. I'm expecting, by the way, a Limit 3 Candina, so I'm just going to call that right now. I'm expecting it. Because I think Trickstar's been around quite a while now. That's the only real Limit 3 I'm expecting. There better be a bunch on here, especially targeting the actual meta decks, not these random rogue things. Okay, good shit. This card was one of the most annoying parts of the stupid Pendulum deck, purely because, yeah, it just gave your deck access to removing your opponent's back row. It was so goddamn annoying. This is the back row mover, right? Yeah, it is just so annoying. It's just like a searchable version of like an MST or a Cosmic on top of doing all your other sort of all your other Pendulum summoning, everything else the skill gives you the advantage it generates. Having this on top of it was just too much. At least now this means that deck list specifically might struggle a lot more if they want to run other Limit 3 cards. They'll struggle a lot more against actual back row in the game. You don't have to worry about whether or not your one trap card's actually going to stay on the field or if your opponent's going to remove it and just a waste of time. So good to see this being hit. We have to keep scrolling to see if there's any other Limit 3s, because this card by itself I don't think will kill the deck still, because currently I already tried a bunch of Limit 3s to get the Pendulum Call out of the deck, and it didn't really change anything. People kept playing the game anyway with just like one Pendulum Call, so I think they could even cut that card and people would still play the deck. So yeah, I'm hoping there's some more Limit 3s on here, and I assume there is. I really assume there is. Malicious, right? I have to check Destiny Hero after this to see what this actually coincides with, what this hit with, because obviously it targets the Limit 3 traps, which is good, because that deck loves playing basically a trap card deck. But I think there's any other Limit 3s in the deck currently, so I think it's just to get rid of the traps, I assume. That's it? They hit 2 rogue decks, put this thing to... There's no shot. Let me have a look, hang on. Let me bring up an Odd Eyes deck real quick. What Limit 1's in here? Oh yes, they've got the Odd Eyes Raging Dragon, which is obviously stopping you now playing the card. Look, it's literally the first deck we pull up on screen isn't even playing the Limit 1 Synchro card. The first deck we pull up, just randomly. Like, come on, man. It's not even playing this card. Like, the art type doesn't care that much. I guess to be fair, this one is a Beatrice combo, so I guess Beatrice is probably gone now if you want to play the, yeah, because you're playing 3 Dragon Pits, so you want to cut, maybe you can play 1 Beatrice and 2 Dragon Pit, then you have to cut your Pendulum Call, but I don't think this guy would care too much. And she's playing Harp Horror, I guess. I guess this does remove, maybe this finally removes Orcus from the deck, I guess? Let's have a look at some other lists. There's a couple of globals. Let's have a look. This guy was playing 0 Orcus, but he was playing 3 Pendulum Call, which you can't do anymore. Alright, so this does heavily hit the Pendulum Call variants at least, which seems to be the 2 main KC Cup topping ones. Does most likely get rid of Orcus. I still think this deck will have a chance after this ban list at being relevant, even after all this, because I just don't think the Shooter Rising is enough to actually do much. What's the ratio of Pendulum Call in this? What's like, how many people are playing Pendulum Call at 3? 1 in 30%? I'm kind of interested to see how this deck will turn out now. I'm really curious. Because I don't think Shooter Rising really matters, this being removed, but the Pendulum Call being in line with this means the consistency is going to be pretty bad, and you definitely can't play Orcus anymore if you want to play any of these cards, so the Orcus variant's gone. Yeah, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Maybe the deck is actually a lot weaker than I think it is. Alright, what else was there? There was the... Yeah, there was the... Why was there a Lady Debug? What is using this? Unlike Code Talker. Code Talker and Salad, right? Which are 2 decks that are like... they're just not even like super relevant decks anymore. Like, they get like 1 topping every 3 days. Like, why are these decks being targeted? It's so weird. I'm just going to assume that this one is 100% from the KC Cup, but this one is real whack. Anyway, moving on. Oh yeah, actually I want to check, sorry, one more time. I want to check the Destiny Hero to see if there was actually Limit 3s in that other than the trap card. Yeah, it's just the trap cards being removed. I mean, this is probably going to be guaranteed, like, I mean, this deck can definitely play with that Limit 3 trap card, so this is probably going to be the best deck in the game still, I imagine. Anyway, moving on. We have no longer on the list Finally! Thunder Dragon Dark. This means all the Thunder Dragon cards are unlimited, and you can play Levianeer with them now, I believe, which is like really good, because that was like one of their main cards, so I guess Thunder Dragon players rejoice. I don't think this will make them meta relevant or anything like that. I think that deck is way too old now for being an actually super relevant deck, but cool. Until they add Colossus to the game, I think we're safe to play these cards, so nice unlimit. Scary one to unlimit. That's a bit of a scary one. Right. That made Lunalight very consistent, right? Because the only issue with Lunalight currently is this thing was competing with the one that discards from hand, and now we can just play both at full, because they're the only two cards that were competing. That's a very scary thing to do, because Lunalight's a very, very AIDS deck if it ever becomes even slightly good. Just having a card that's untargetable, indestructible on the field, it's very hard to deal with for a lot of decks, so not sure I agree with this one. I think Lunalight was in a state where it was sort of just fine. Obviously it wasn't top tier, but it was fine. I wouldn't even be surprised if there was a Lunalight that topped the last KC Cup. We don't quite know yet until the full results are released and everyone's shared their deck list, but I wouldn't have been surprised if there was one, so interesting, but sure, I guess. Okay, this sort of follows up the Synchron Unlimited stuff. Sure, bit weird this is getting unlimited before that skill gets any sort of restrictions added to it, because this just means that variant of Synchron is like full power again, right? I don't think there was anything left from that ban list. I don't know, it's a bit of a weirder one again. I'm fine with it though. There was actually I can't remember what deck it was. It was a particular deck I was using this in recently. Maybe someone in the comments remember it from one of my videos. I was definitely using this at some point. And the reason, and it was really annoying, so it was stopping me building a certain variation of the deck, because it was just teaming out Limit 3. Can't remember what it was though. Okay, they literally just swapped this on here. I guess they realized, hey, D2D isn't that great of a deck. Maybe we should just not put Slank Limit 3 for no reason. So, sure, that's now unlimited. Fine. Oh yeah, this is completely fine. I think I made this complaint when the ban list originally dropped for this deck. I saw they just hit this card on top of hitting the skill, and I was like, why? That skill hit is enough to make the deck just not that great. It made it feel like the Duel Links ban list team had like one for skills and one for cards, like they were completely separate or something, because it made no sense to hit both. But sure, so I'm fine with this being back in the game. There was no reason to be hit, because the skill, let's be real, the skill got hit very, very hard. Regardless of what you think about SPEEDROID, that skill hit was incredibly harsh, so this is fine. There was no reason for this thing to be on the ban list. It's weird this thing gets unlimited before like some of the other older cards in the game, but anyway. Okay, agreed with this one. This one, wait, what? I mean, the skill hit was harsh, but Yo-Yo as well? We're just freeing them both? Okay, they must be really confident in their skill hit for this one. Sure, I mean, we'll see. I don't know what to say about that one. A bit weird. Can we not unlimit Mech Knight cards? That deck was not very fun to play against. Okay. I mean, as long as they're not unlimiting the blue or the purple, I guess it's fine. I really wish they wouldn't unlimit Mech Knight cards though. Didn't this just go on here as well? Sure. These are some weird. These are like fixing previous ban lists they just had. Like, this was recent, this was recent, this was recent, this was recent, and so was the Farfa one. This was actually kind of recent too, right? Because they swapped a bunch of Mech Knight cards over. They're like fixing their own mistakes on their ban list or something. I don't know what to say about that one. Sure. I guess Burning Abyss players rejoice, and the few people playing. To be fair, this was the stupidest restriction, because it's like, yeah, we'll stop you playing this with Beatrice and your Onomat decks or whatever it was, and then we're just like, oh yeah, we'll just swap Farfa out for the other card, which is the exact same thing. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, sure. Okay, I don't like this deck, so I hope it doesn't result in more people playing it, but yeah, sure. This deck's outdated as all hell. It can be played if you want to. Alright, and that's it for this ban list. I don't know what to say about this one. These hits were Oh, wait, was this a buff? Am I stupid? I thought Ladybug was actually just free. I didn't think they had swapped it off of a 2 to a 3. I thought this card was unlimited. What other limit 2s was it competing with? Mech Knight? Huh? What was it competing with? I'm so lost. Oh, Sundown Gate Circle. This is technically a buff, I guess. Okay, that makes more sense now. I was very confused. I guess I was thinking more of Code Talker, but alright, sure. I guess it's more technically a buff. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's technically a buff for the deck. Sure, there you go. Alright, well there's my BANLIST reaction. Kind of messed up this card, but that's fine. Still don't know why Madolche's on here though. Alright, so let me know your thoughts down below. Is this a good BANLIST? Is it a bad one? I'm more leaning towards it's a pretty shitty BANLIST, but even the unlimits are really sus, honestly. There's some more older decks that they could have released rather than releasing some of these recently limited ones, but anyway. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this reaction. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hope you see you guys in the next one. Laters. Over my OBSs.